Hello everyone, Luke Flywalker here with another episode of Airport to Airport. Today we are starting off at Second Life's first and oldest airport, Kazanojin Executive Airport, located on the continent of Sansara on the Gray Sim. It was built back in 2003. Over the years, the original build was upgraded, but the airport still has that retro feel. If you go to the second floor of the Tower Terminal building, you will see some of the original members of the Kazanojin group, all with the tag RET by their name, which I assume means retired. They are no longer an SL, at least with that avatar. Go up to the second floor and you'll see the office of Valen Heavy Industries. Hans Valen was one of the original aircraft builders in Second Life. Kazanojin is considered the birthplace of SL aviation. Take off your shoes, you're on holy ground. Let's hear what famed aviator and aircraft builder Cubiterra had to say about the early days of SL aviation. Let's look at a clip from an interview I did with him back in 2015 in SL Aviation magazine. I've created a new app for my phone so that I can access Bob the flight computer. Good morning, Bob. I need you to bring up a video for me. SL Aviation magazine issue 37. Fast forward to 8 minutes and 5 seconds and begin play from there.
Hello Luke Flywalker. Retrieving video from SL Aviation Network YouTube channel. Accessing video entitled SL Aviation Magazine 37. Fast forwarding to 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Your video is playing now.
Okay, what about your role in the development of SL Aviation, and were you the first to build a marketable plane?
No. When I joined in 2003, there was an aviation group called Kazanojin, and they'd been building aircraft already for at least a year, since beta. So no, I wasn't first. The first ones were people like Garth Fairchild. He inspired me. I mean, his planes were simple, but you have to understand that this is before there were any vehicle physics. So what they were doing, they were just taking basic Second Life physics and applying forces and rotational forces all by themselves without the benefit of defining a vehicle. That came later on. So what they were doing was actually in many ways much more advanced than what we're doing now, even though their planes didn't turn out especially realistic. So no, I wasn't the first. Garth Fairchild, Hans Valen, you'll hear that name too. They worked out of Grayfield. The sim name is Gray. That's the oldest airport in Second Life, incidentally.
Yes.
So when I first joined Second Life, they were right there in the sandbox in Morris. That was the starting point in Second Life, and they had their planes, and I wanted to learn how they were doing this. I wanted to make my own stuff. I begged Garth for a flight script, and eventually he relented, and I got my first plane off the ground.
Wow.
Okay, thanks, Bob. That interview with QB was one of my goals from the time I started SL Aviation magazine. He is one of the true aviation innovators in SL. I still use some of his aircraft today that I bought when I first came into Second Life. Now for the flight feature of our program, I've asked my friend Kat Hunter to do the flight for me today. She will be using a plane she built called the Hunter X Stall. This is an amazing little bush plane that has been specially scripted for realistic short takeoffs and landings. When you see the first airport I've chosen for the flight, you'll understand why I picked this plane. While we're waiting on Kat to arrive, let's ask Bob to give us a rundown on Rivers Bend. Bob, please access River Bend database.
Accessing Rivers Bend Airstrip database. Rivers Bend Airstrip ICAO code, SLRB. It is a small limited services strip deep in the heart of Sansara. Located in the region of Enceladus, it can be found just before the snow lands along the river the strip takes its name from. Approach and landing. Approach to RBA is done close to the river's surface, limited by the wingspan of your plane. Heading west from Ice Bay, follow the river through its chasm, descending while leaving yourself enough space for your wings. Once sighted, prepare for a small last-moment turn to the left to line up on the unmarked gravel runway, and put her down. With 95 meters of runway at your disposal, any stall plane should have more than enough room for runout. Rivers Bend is an old airstrip. Its buildings are worn and in need of paint. The runway itself is of packed gravel, and the grass surrounding it is long and hides more than a few rabbits. Situated as it is between two mountains and just off of the river the airstrip takes its name from, it is limited to small and tough push planes and the pilots that love a good challenging adventure. Best described as looking like it comes from that series Worst Places to Be a Pilot. Facilities: next to none. 3 tie-downs, a shed for cargo, and a larger building that houses a worn sofa, a warm stove, and a pot of coffee. This information can be found on SL Aviation Wiki. Back to you, boss man.
Thanks, Bob. My pilot cat is here and ready for takeoff. So let's get moving. From Bob's description of River Bend, I think I better say, hold on to your butts. Hey, great landing, Cat. Okay, folks, that's it for episode 2. Stay tuned for episode 3. Cat and I will fly out of Rivers Bend and head for Abbott's, another iconic airfield. It should prove to be an interesting flight, and I will have lots of good information for you. See you all next time, and happy flying.